beyond the weight, the hidden cost of transformation. Bariatric surgery is often seen as a miracle of modern medicine, a chance for young women to reclaim their bodies and restart their lives. But beneath the physical transformation lies a quieter, more complex story about how the mind adapts to sudden change. Part 1. The breaking point of the body. In the quiet pre-dawn of a hospital corridor, a young woman lies under fluorescent light, her heartbeat sync to a monitor's slow rhythm. She is 26, healthy enough to survive, desperate enough to change. In a few hours, half of her stomach will be gone. The surgeons will call it a victory. She will call it a rebirth. Bariatric surgery isn't cosmetic. It's not a quick fix or a celebrity procedure. It is biological warfare waged against hunger itself, a rewiring of the gut-brain axis, the unseen network that decides how we eat, feel, and think. Once cut and stapled, the body's chemistry shifts. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, plummets. Leptin, which signals fullness, recalibrates. Dopamine and serotonin, the twin architects of pleasure and peace, fluctuate wildly. The result? A powerful storm inside the mind. For a few months, euphoria reigns. The weight melts off. Compliments flood in. Mirrors become allies instead of enemies. For the first time, she feels noticed, seen, admired, desired. But beneath that surface victory, something quieter starts to fracture. The body has changed faster than the self can catch up. She steps into a smaller frame, yet the mind clings to old ghosts. Shame, fear, self-hate. The brain still whispers the same lies it told at 300 pounds. You're not enough. You don't belong. You're still her. And here lies the paradox. Losing weight was supposed to fix everything, yet it exposes the raw wound underneath, the one that food once numbed. Without the comfort of overeating, she feels naked before her emotions. The hunger doesn't vanish, it mutates. Part 2. The psychological void. 6 months later, she's in a bar with friends. She orders a single drink, maybe to celebrate another 20 pounds lost. What she doesn't know is that her surgery has changed how alcohol enters her bloodstream. 1 sip hits her like 3. Her tolerance is gone. Her brain floods with warmth, the same kind of soothing pleasure food once gave. She doesn't realize it yet, but the addiction has shifted. It's no longer hunger for food. It's hunger for escape. This is the transfer of addiction, a phenomenon researchers have tracked for years. The reward circuits of the brain, once soothed by sugar and binge cycles, now seek new relief. For many women, that relief becomes alcohol, opioids, or reckless relationships. By year 2, the emotional fallout deepens. Friends move on, boyfriends leave, and the world's applause grows quiet. What remains is silence and the faint ache of loneliness. She has become the person society celebrates, but she feels less understood than ever. Psychiatrists call this the second crash, the moment when the high of transformation gives way to a more haunting truth. Depression returns, not from failure, but from emptiness. The surgery fixed her stomach, not her soul. Part 3. The mirror's betrayal. The mirror becomes her most dangerous companion. She looks thinner, but the reflection feels foreign. The angles of her face are sharper, her clothes hang differently. Compliments feel intrusive, attention feels undeserved. She starts to question who she is without the body she fought so long to escape. Some women spiral into obsessive self-surveillance, calorie counting, mirror checking, avoiding photos altogether. Others develop body dysmorphia, unable to see what everyone else sees. The dissonance between identity and image breeds anxiety, isolation, and sometimes self-harm. By year 3, the statistics grow darker. The rates of suicide and substance abuse among post-bariatric patients rise sharply, especially in young women. The reason isn't weakness, it's the collision between biology and expectation. The world praises her for transformation, but she is left holding the wreckage of her old self, unsure how to live inside the new one. Part 4. The return to wholeness. Yet, not all stories end in shadow. Some find a way to rebuild, through therapy, support groups, and self-confrontation. They learn that the surgery was not a cure, but a catalyst. They begin to grieve the body they left behind and forgive the person who once lived inside it. Healing comes slowly, in layers. It comes through honest conversations about addiction, trauma, and body image. It comes from doctors who understand that mental health follow-up is not optional, it's vital. It comes from peers who tell the truth, that success after bariatric surgery is not about thinness, but about integration, where the body, mind, and identity finally meet in peace. Part 5. Reclaiming the Mind and the Body. Recovery is not measured in pounds, but in equilibrium. For those who survive the emotional turbulence of bariatric surgery, healing begins the moment they stop chasing transformation and start building stability. Years after the operation, the survivors of this internal war begin to understand what the procedure truly was. Not salvation, but surrender. Surgery forced a shortcut through the body's defenses. It made hunger smaller, but it never taught the mind how to manage desire, disappointment, or grief. The real work, the lasting work, happens long after the incisions have healed. Many who succeed long-term return to the fundamentals that medicine cannot replace: disciplined movement, balanced eating, mindful coping. Exercise becomes their anchor, not because it burns calories, but because it rebuilds trust in the body they once viewed as the enemy. Endorphins steady mood. Routine restores control. Each mile run, each weight lifted, each moment of sweat teaches what surgery never could. That power grows through practice, not precision cutting. Those who rebuild do so with humility. They accept that the operation was a tool, not a transformation. They integrate therapy, nutrition, community, and consistent activity into daily life. They learn that maintenance is not punishment, but protection. The final warning: bariatric surgery should remain a last resort, reserved for severe medical necessity when all other options have failed and life itself is at risk. It is not a replacement for exercise, discipline, or emotional repair. It is an emergency intervention with permanent consequences. Exercise, sustainable, consistent, self-driven movement remains the most reliable medicine. It strengthens not only the body, but the mind, rewiring both with natural hormones and resilience instead of trauma and dependence. The truth is simple: you cannot outsource healing. Surgery may shrink the stomach, but only effort strengthens the spirit.